There is an indefinable, mysterious power that pervades everything.
That power that can make a way out of no way.
Today, in the world, there's so much suffering because of that one of prayer.
Welcome everybody to the Prayer Revolution. So glad you're here. My name is Doyal. I'm here with my good friend Vira. And this is your daily morning prayer podcast. We have morning prayer, and then we discuss that prayer, the mood of prayer in our daily lives, and how to bring a mood of prayer into all that we do. We've been doing this straight for, I think we've probably been doing it for 100 days now, but the official recording today is this is episode 97. But we've missed a few recordings, so we're probably already hit 100. But we're counting down to the official episode 100, which will be on Thursday. And for those who don't know yet, our goal is to hit 100. And then we're going to take a little pause on our prayer revolution after episode 100. We're going to hit 100. All the recordings will be there. And we started this beautiful podcast just on Instagram Live, even before Zoom came. That's how we know we've been doing it for more than 100 days, because we didn't even start on Zoom initially. I think we just went on Instagram Live. And in response to when COVID hit back in mid-March. And we've just been sharing prayers and vulnerability and trying to surrender and stay connected to a higher power and a higher self. And now after 100 days, we want to pause, assess, and see where the best direction is to go from there. So if you'd like to be in touch with us, you can write to prayerrevolution@bhakticenter.org or reach out to us personally in any way, shape, or form to stay informed of where we plan to go from there. But after day 100, we're gonna pause this beautiful show. But it's been such a wonderful journey, seeing your bright and beautiful faces every morning, and seeing you every morning, Vera.
The same way, Doyal. And as you were sharing, it's like, like we're taking a pause on the podcast for a minute, and we're continuing to pray. We're continuing to pray.
Yes. Don't pause the prayer, otherwise we will have failed.
Totally. So super grateful to be with you guys. Grateful each day is it's a blessing, and somehow or other it's kind of like deja vu in the best way ever. Like just getting that feeling of like, oh yeah, like that's such a good feeling to be with you guys, to know that we're going to pray, to know that this time, the space exists. And so
it's a Transcendental Groundhog Day.
Yeah. Totally. And so Doyal, I would love to hear you pray. You've prayed it a handful of times on Prayer Revolution, and if you're open to it, love to hear you share today. Just whatever, whatever may be on your heart and on your coming from your soul.
You know what? I made a vow that I was going to listen to you pray every day for the rest of the time till we got to 100. And so
you made a vow.
I made a vow that
wow.
I just wanted to hear you. I just want to hear you, Vera.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's a non-negotiable, I guess.
Very non-negotiable.
Okay, Doyal's got his boundaries. Doyal's got clarity.
I just love hearing you, and if I only got a few more days left until we take a pause, I want to soak it up.
Okay. Well,
I'm the comedic relief on this show. If you haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
You pray, and then I'll make a joke about it.
You are the relief from material suffering. Incredible. Okay. So then I won't make a vow right now publicly like that, but I'm getting a sense that if I'm gonna pray and you vow to hear me pray, then we, I think we all agree that we'd love to hear you sing also.
You want to hear me sing? Okay.
Yeah. And so we've got
what should I sing?
We have 3 more episodes. Sing any of your songs. Sing any of your heartfelt, prayerful songs. Every one of your songs is like a conversation with God. So, So okay. So then over the next 3 days, at least one song. Okay.
Over the next 3 days, okay. I'll not today, but sometime before the next 3 days, we'll get a song.
You're up for that?
Yeah, it might just be a piece of a song because, you know, I just played my guitar for the first time in a long time 2 days ago. So it might be a piece of a song that I'm working on,
Sounds good.
but a little
How's
preview.
that sound, everybody? How's that sound? Doyal singing a little prayer. All right. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of hope. Okay. So Doyal, you let us know when you feel ready. But you got this is your 3.5 day countdown.
3.5 day countdown. All right, I got it on. I'm on the clock.
Okay. Okay. So let's pray. I have no idea what we're going to pray about today. That's kind of it's a good feeling. Let's close our eyes. And let's come into stillness. There's nowhere that you have to be right now, but right where you are, right in this moment. It's a perfect moment for connection. This moment in life was meant for you to enter into a state of being and to connect with God, to connect with our Creator, to connect deeply and truly with ourselves. Not to be distracted by the rat race, the hamster wheel, all the things we think we need to do in order to feel fulfilled and happy in life. That happiness is within. This is a perfect moment to start going deeper into that journey within our own hearts, deeper into that journey within our indestructible, blissful, beautiful, illuminated souls. My dear Lord, we pray to you today that we can have the courage, we can have the clarity to know that you're always available to us, and that connection, that door is always available for us to walk through. And sometimes when we feel disconnected, or sometimes when we feel distracted in pursuing our goals and dreams in life, we forget that you are walking with us. You are seated within our hearts. You're with our soul right now. There's no distance between your love. It's available for us right now. We have the opportunity to pause our lives, to pause whatever it is that we're doing. Every moment this is available to us. And to drink from your presence, to experience your love through prayer, through meditation, through connection with each other. And Lord, please help us to feel that, to feel you within our hearts right now, to know that any of that tension that we feel in our bodies and our minds, any of those fears that we may have, any of those distractions that come up that externalize our senses, and say that happiness is available in the future. To be able to push those to the side and be able to recognize that actually right now it's available for every single one of us. My dear Lord, let us feel you. Let us feel your presence. Let us trust as we give ourselves more and more to the process of remembering you, of connecting with you in each moment of our life. That happiness, that fulfillment that we seek it so desperately in our life. It's what's driving every action and every thought in our life. We're seeking that connection with you. Help us to see everything in our life as a catalyst. Every challenge, every pleasure. Help us to see it as a sensation that's a reminder that we're looking for your love and that it's available to us right now if we surrender. So in this moment right now, we're surrendering. We're giving our minds, we're giving our hearts, we're giving our ears, we're giving ourselves to prayer. We're giving ourselves to you right now. Help us to make this alive in every moment of our life. Help us to see this opportunity, however subtle it may be. Help us to choose you first, to invite you into every part of our life. Thank you, my Lord. I'm so grateful this morning. So grateful for this sanga, this incredible group of loving spiritual seekers, your children. Thank you for the family that you've given me, you've given us. Let us experience your love and make us instruments, make us pure vessels to share that with the world that's needing it so much. Every broken heart in the world. Let us be instruments to help to make a difference, to help to heal, help to see people smile from their souls. I'm calling out your name, my Lord. Let this touch the hearts of every person in the universe. Let this touch their souls. Let this touch our hearts and souls and help us to feel that much more connected today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Good morning, y'all. Mm-hmm.
Loving the beautiful sound effects and the soothing sounds of music.
Could you hear it?
I could hear it serenading me.
Mm-hmm. There's this is the artist's name is Garth Stevenson.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. There's this soul churning instrumentals that, oftentimes I'll just go for a walk and it's, whatever it is that if I'm trying to connect more deeply with myself, I find that, that there's certain moods of music. And the Vedic tradition, they call them ragas, and that a raga is a musical composition that invokes a certain mood that, is meant for certain times of the day and that invokes certain emotions, certain experiences. And I find that, when I'm looking to go within, there's certain music that just like each key on the piano and each chord of the guitar or the voice, or whether it's a kirtan or it's instrumentals, that you can feel the intention behind it. You can feel like this artist was in a deep rapture in their connection with the divine and this unique expression of sound, this divine unique expression of sound. And so he's one of my favorites for that. To take those walks with God, to take those walks with God, or to have those cups of tea with God in the morning, or to have those drives with God, whatever it may be in our life, to be able to, when we feel disconnected, to be able to give ourselves really to give ourselves the space to reconnect and give ourselves the environment that's suitable for it. So, thank you, Garth Stevenson.
Garth Brooks too. Thank you, Garth Brooks.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Krishna. Beautiful.
I remember at a time in my life when I was quite a strong user of alcohol. I remember a song that my godfather shared with me by Garth Brooks. It goes something like this: long neck bottle, let go of my hand. Long neck bottle, something like that. I don't know the rest, but I just remember what an image. It's like, the bottle has like somehow grabbed a hold of me,
Yeah.
and that I'm helpless, the need for this relief, or the helpless, and the need for this sensation, and it's got a hold of me.
Yeah. Like, can we get a purport to that song?
A purport to that song? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it sounds like there's so much there. The idea that, holding on to the things that bring us down, and thinking that, how do I get free from this? And sometimes, like, in 12-step programs, they have this phrase, drop the rock. There's even a book, a small, thin little book called Drop the Rock. And they tell us, there's a story at the beginning of the book about a person, there's a boat, and people are swimming. I mean, people are like sailing away from the shore off into some beautiful distance, and somebody's swimming towards them and saying, wait for me, wait, I can't, and they realize that they're holding this big stone that's pulling them down in the water. And they're like, wow, how come I can't get on the boat with everybody else? It's like, oh, I have to let go of the stone. And so they drop the rock, and they're able to get aboard. And then when they're on the boat, they look back and they see somebody else that's struggling and screaming and floundering in the water, and they're yelling back to them, drop the rock, drop the rock. This idea of drop the rock, like these things, like, so long neck bottle, let go of my hand. It's like, no, I have to let go of the bottle.
Yeah.
We tell ourselves, we get into that mindset that it's got a grip on me and it's holding me down, but actually there's I'm the one that's holding on. And so
Aditi's sharing, sometimes we're not even aware of precisely what it is that's holding us down, or we're not even aware of what we're holding on to.
Yes.
We're swimming, right? We're like, we're not even aware that we're holding onto a rock, or like we've got a backpack of rocks on that we could just like, press the button and eject them. We've got the weight belt on, right? And we're not even conscious of it, of how much it's dragging us down, how much it's stopping us from actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's the beautiful part of it. That's the sign of, that's where our sincerity comes into being, is because, she said, sometimes we're not even aware what precisely is holding us down. But if we start from point A, which is that I know there are things in my life that are holding me down that I want to let go of. And just that recognition itself takes us out of the blame game that somebody else needs to change before I do. My circumstances need to change in order for me to be happy. But that there are really the biggest person getting in my way is myself, and I need help. I mean, drop the rock and 12-step programs, that comes like around step 6, halfway through. But the first step is just realizing that, my life's a mess. And that's a really hard acknowledgement to come to. You know what I mean? I've been through 12-step programs, never for any substance abuse or addiction to substance like alcohol. But I do know that, if you walk into a 12-step program room and everyone's like, I'm an alcoholic, or I have my life has become uncontrollable, and you just kind of say, hi, my name is so and so, and I don't really have a problem with alcohol, I kind of, a little bit, and I'm just trying to, get some tips to get better at life. They'll be like, oh, really? If you don't have a serious problem with alcohol, then I think, it's this is a place for people who have serious problems, who recognize it's an addiction, that, are trying to get over that and recognize their powerlessness. You know what I mean? Like, that's what this group is for. So maybe this isn't the place for you. It's kind of like that. I mean, that would never get said in a meeting, but that's the understanding that this is a place for people who are recognizing that they need help. And sometimes to recognize, they call it hitting a rock bottom, hitting that place of recognizing that actually, as, again, like Aditi's saying, we're not even aware what precisely is holding us down, is getting to that place of like, my God, like, this is unbearable. There's something holding me down. There's things holding me down that I don't know what they are exactly, but I definitely want to let go of them. And when you start from that place, and then it's a recognition that I need help letting it go. And then I start to seek out that help. And that's where prayer comes in. And also that's where our gurus, our teachers, our friends, our sanga. And I have the humility to ask another person that I trust, is there something I'm not seeing about myself? And usually, if you have the courage to ask that question, and someone you trust, they might be like, well, I've been keeping a list. No. But I mean, like, the people around Martha said, addiction blinds you. Sadly, for some, it is too late before they drop the rock. For the rest of us, it is easier to see the whole picture. For them, it is not even there. Yeah, people around you see it. People who love you and who trust you. But they don't want to say anything until you ask. So that's a courageous step to take. And even before that, it might actually be like, whoa, I don't even know if I have people in my life I trust that much. Maybe I need to reconsider the investments of relationship I'm making right now. Because the majority of my time might be being spent with people that I wouldn't even trust. There was that saying, I think we referenced it another time, is that don't accept criticism from anybody that you wouldn't go to for advice. We accept criticism from people we don't even know, but would I go to that person for advice? And so who are the people in my life that I trust enough to go for advice? Like you mentioned, you're talking about Arjun shared that song with you that you still remember to this day. He saw it. He saw it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it takes a lot of courage, right? And it also it takes a lot of courage, and also takes a lot of responsibility. Appreciating, my mom. It's like, yeah, like I could blame everyone else and blame everything else, and it's like, no, but like allowing ourselves to be responsible. It's like when we stop blaming and we stop pointing the finger. And the reason we blame and point the finger is because it's so hard to be with ourselves. It's like the most painful thing is to actually be with ourselves. And so, okay, then that's where that irresponsible, putting it on other people, or even toward ourselves, we can be irresponsible emotionally, being, wallowing in guilt and shame, it's also irresponsible. We're filling, the unfilled potential with resentment and guilt and judgment and shame toward ourselves or toward other people. And it's an irresponsible way of living. And so I love, like that, Aditi used the word awareness, and that's it, right? It's like, the problem is I don't know I have a problem, right? That's the problem, right? If we're like, okay, like I'm all good, I'm all good, it's all good, but no, actually there is something, there is a growth, there is a transformation, there is more that's available to life. That's the seeker's journey, right? Like that is the journey. It's that it is expanding. There is more to life. There is more to our connection with God. It's ever expanding. And so if we ever find ourselves in a plateau, okay, takes a courage to be able to invite the right people in our life to be able to help us continue to gain greater insights and therefore experience deeper transformation and healing, and which all leads to a more amazing experience of life. Who wants to have a more amazing experience of life? I do. Right, we want to have a more amazing experience of life. It takes courage. It takes a lot of courage, and that it's amazing because it's that first step, right, that is just like so scary, right? It's the first step into the unknown, into the darkness. That's like the scariest thing in the world. And then right after that first step, we're like, whoa, why was I avoiding this? Why was I avoiding that? Why was I avoiding myself? Like, oh my God, I was sitting there the whole time, why was I avoiding actually bringing consciousness into those unconscious parts of myself and accepting them and allowing them? And so starting with awareness, I love it, Doyal, like, yeah, just recognizing that, if I'm genuine in my spiritual pursuits, like absolutely there's something to work on. Every one of us, we've all got something to work on. And anyone that's telling you that I don't got anything to work on, they got something to work on for sure. That's for sure. We're all imperfectly perfect. We all have amazing opportunities. So
yeah. There is I was going to read this. There's this Russell Brand wrote this beautiful book. You bought me this book as a gift, Recovery. He wrote this book, Recovery.
Yeah.
And I read that the other year, last year, the year before. It was a really great book. I mean, I love Russell Brand, and I think he's a genius. I think he's brilliant. He writes the way that he speaks. I don't know, like his editor didn't quite like. So when you first start to read it, it's like it's like drinking from a fire hose. It's like a little overwhelming because he speaks so fast, and he uses words that you may not have heard before. And it's just like, and in person, he's so charismatic that you're just like enraptured by it. But when you start reading it, it's like, I actually put it down initially because I was like, I don't know if I can read this. It was just like, because he writes, it's like he's writing. So it's like you're on a roller coaster a little bit. But then when I picked it back up, I fell in love with it. And he's so articulate and so vulnerable and so honest. And so he actually, he rephrases, he writes his own rendition of the 12 steps that is very humorous, but very straightforward and very real. And I was going to read them out loud. He uses explicit language that we won't share here because this is a kid-friendly show. And so, but I'll replace some of the words with something a little more PG-13. But it's very much related to this idea that it's just basically, it's because as you were saying, Vera, like this idea, this tendency to be like, yeah, I'm okay, or it's not too bad, or everyone's got problems, mine aren't so bad, and that's true, that's helpful. But if we deny ourselves if we don't allow ourselves to admit that life is kind of running, if we don't allow ourselves to admit the problems that we have in our life, we won't get the help we need in order to overcome it. We kind of cut ourselves off from grace. AJ wrote, the third time Russell Brand has come up in 3 days for me. They were playing his show interviews this past weekend. So anyway, so he writes, Russell Brand, he says, are you a bit screwed up? Step 1, are you a bit screwed up? 2, could you possibly be not screwed up? That's question 2. Question 3, are you on your own going to unscrew yourself? So the answer to that question is no. Number 4, write down all the things that are screwing you up or have ever screwed you up, and don't lie or leave anything out. Number 5, honestly tell someone how screwed up you are. Tell someone trustworthy. Honestly tell someone trustworthy how screwed up you are. Step 6. Well, that's revealed a lot of screwed up patterns. Do you want to stop it? Seriously? That's the drop the rock stage. Do you really want to stop it? Seriously? Step 7. Are you willing to live in a new way that's not all about you and your previous screwed up stuff? You have to. Step 8. Prepare to apologize to everyone for everything affected by your being so screwed up. 9. Now apologize, unless that would make things worse. 10. Watch out for screwed up thinking and behavior and be honest when it happens. 11. Stay connected to your new perspective. Step 12. Look at life less selfishly, be nice to everyone, and help people if you can. So those are the 12 steps according to Russell Brand. Of course, I adjusted some of the language.
All right, let's get our screwdrivers out, guys. Start unscrewing ourselves.
Screwdrivers.
Power drills and screwdrivers.
I think that's the point. That's step 3. Are you on your own going to unscrew yourself? It's like, I don't have the right screwdriver. I got a Phillips and I need a flathead.
I got a flathead. If you got a Phillips, we could work, just do a little exchange and help unscrew each other.
And so I think that's the realize. I don't even have a screwdriver, but Krishna has the screwdriver, and that's the prayer. That's the recognition that I think that because we don't have the right screwdriver, we think it's possible to get it out. The screws must be stripped, but no, you just don't have the right screwdriver, and the faculty is not within you. You need a higher power to step in, and it can be easily come out. It can easily just come out. My wife and I, we got.
Who wants a little bzz? Who's not a little bzz?
Bzz me up, Scotty. my wife and I, we bought some artwork for our apartment a month or two ago, or whatever. We trying to, we're like, if we're going to be spending all this time at home, we should try and make it nice. And so, and some of it was kind of heavy. And one of it was like this, it was two pieces of artwork that go side by side, and together it's like one larger piece of artwork. So it needs to be like perfectly aligned and next to each other. And I was like, I'm going to screw this up. Like, I'm not, like, we can try. And so we actually went on, the first time we got this, it was TaskRabbit. And we got this guy to come and just do it for us. And we paid a flat fee, and he just put it up. And it was kind of like this idea of just like, I just don't have the tools and knowledge to do this properly. Like, I just need to call someone up and do it. And the guy just came in, and in a half an hour, he just did it. And it was like simple, you know? And so sometimes just like, it's that simple. Like, the problems in our life, like, I could have easily started on my own. I'd been drilling holes in the wall, measuring tape, writing all over. It would have been uneven. I would have dropped one of it and broke it. And I'd be sitting in this frustrating mess of just like, life sucks. Nothing ever works out. I can't do it. Everything's terrible. This was a waste of money. My wife and I probably would have gotten an argument. And it would just been like, because I just tried to do something on my own that was just so much easier to have someone else do it, you know? And Krishna's looking at us just like messing our life up and being like, can I please just please, I've got all the tools. You know what I mean? Just stop it. Just hold on, you know? And I think that's sort of, for whatever reason, we just plow forward on our own and insist that we're gonna do it ourselves because we're embarrassed, or we're ashamed, or we feel we got to prove something, or, you know, all of these things. But Krishna's just like, Krishna's our handyman. So that's kind of it. The screw can easily come out. You just need Krishna to come over with his tools.
The most beautiful tools that we have, we can just, with a song and a dance, the Lord can come sweep right into our lives, just with the chanting, no matter what the faith, no matter what religion background, a sincere devotee, a sincere seeker of God, just calling out God's names sincerely, steadily, making that the practice before every action, the practice, the intention for life, weaving that in as much as we can, filling all the gaps as much as we can with that remembrance of God and God's holy names. This is how we invite that handyman in.
Yeah. Gloria
Divine handyman.
Gloria Chang wrote in the Facebook comment, that's where having a sanga helps, where the exchange of screwdrivers can happen. What kind of screwdriver do you have? What do you got? I need a wrench. You got a monkey wrench? I need over there. I got to pull this nail out. Okay. Together we can pull that tool.
I'm gonna need one of those big old, plumber wrenches. Get one of those guys.
Yeah.
You guys, I appreciate so much being with you. Appreciate always the insights, always the humor, the lightheartedness, the depth that comes from Doyal's heart. And you guys bring out the best in us. And I know that, that Sangha brings out the best in us. When our intention is to put God in the center of our life, it's perfect. It's a perfect half an hour every single day of our lives. And so I'm so grateful for that.
Sangha means tool swap.
Mm-hmm.
Love you guys so much. Thank you for all your beautiful comments. Thank you for your beautiful smiles. Thanks for sharing and being with us and encouraging all of us. We love you. We look forward to seeing you again very soon. We'll be here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Check us out, or you can check it out on our podcast platforms if you want to get a recording. And we look forward to seeing you again. Official episode 98.
Love you guys. Love you, Doyle. Love you, Mama Bear. Great to see you. Have a beautiful day.
Care, everybody. Bye-bye.